We all know that AOC and this crowd are a bunch of communists. They hate Israel. They hate our own country. They're calling the guards along our border, the Border Patrol agents, concentration camp guards. They accuse people who support Israel of doing it for the Benjamins. They're anti-Semitic. They're anti-America. Don't get down. Aim higher. We don't need to know anything about them personally. Talk about their policies. Senator
Aim higher. Lindsey, you call Americans in Congress communists, and you say they hate America, and then your punchline to that is aim higher. Jon Meacham, the term McCarthyism has been thrown around recklessly for 70 or so years, 60, 65 years.
Yeah.
But just like Donald Trump's language was lifted directly from something that David Duke might say, there's not even a stretch here. Lindsey Graham led with a McCarthyism charge of these four Americans, these four people of color, duly elected people. He called them communists and said they hated America. It might be a good time to remind people watching that Lindsey Graham is not a backbencher in the House like he was when I knew him and he pretended to be conservative. Lindsey Graham is now the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I've got to say, John, that tirade yesterday, that's not just a new low point for Lindsey Graham. That may be a new low point for the Republican Party under Donald Trump.
And it cries out, doesn't it, for the Joseph Welch moment, which was the turning point in 1954 after McCarthy had launched his campaign against communism on Lincoln's birthday in Wheeling, West Virginia. In 1953, he said, I have the names of 205 communists in my pocket. It turned out he didn't have any. But it was a moment of fear, it was a moment of anxiety. And I must When I saw that sort of flash by yesterday, I thought it was a joke at first, because I thought, surely Senator Graham is not actually saying that. One of the things it does tell us, doesn't it, is the demographic to which Trump and Senator Graham and the other enablers are speaking. Because there hasn't been a communist as a live threat to the United States since the presidency of George Herbert Walker Bush. Nearly 30 years ago, right? And so almost exactly 30 years ago. The Berlin Wall fell 30 years ago this year. And we won the Cold War. And we won it because of Republicans, and we won it because of Democrats, and we won it because of our allies, and we won it because we were not isolationist, and we were not xenophobic, and we were not nativist. We made the case for an idea, not for the fascistic combination of blood and soil. It was an idea that we are created equal. And as Lincoln said in August of 1864, in a speech that I don't think is as well known as it should be, he said that the Civil War was being fought not least for there to be a fair chance for Americans' intelligence, enterprise, and industry to rise as far as they can. And that's not an idea that requires a particular skin color. In fact, is entirely predicated, as we've come to understand it, on its universality. And that's the America that won the Cold War. So this is not some soft, liberal, pinko conversation. This is not some lefty ACLU caricature. It's simply history that we have grown stronger the more widely we've opened our arms.
Well,
why we can't tell that story. We have to tell that. I just think that's the story Joe Biden needs to tell. That's the story the Democrats need to tell, because it has the virtue, as Dr. Kissinger used to say, of being true.
Yeah. Well, you know, Michael Steele, we've known Lindsey for a long time. I've known him since '94. Don't recognize this person. I know he has a primary coming up. I keep wondering how much lower he's going to go. Yesterday was a real low point. Yeah. This is a guy who said that the election in May of 2016 said if Donald Trump were nominated to the Republican Party nomination for president, he would destroy the Republican Party, and the Republican Party would deserve it. And this is what Lindsey wrote in June of 2015. He said, "To my friends in the other party, our differences are real, and we will debate them. But you are not my enemy. You are my fellow countrymen." And we see the absolute corruption of Lindsey Graham with the absolute power of Donald Trump. He goes from saying, "You are not my enemy, you are my friend," to saying that 4 women of color are communists who hate America. I mean, is there a better description, Michael Steele, of just how much Donald Trump corrupts people that are around him?
Well, let's start with the truth that hypocrisy has no greater friend than Lindsey Graham. And I think he has proven that more and more, certainly since the passing of John McCain, that he needed something to latch on to, and he's latched on to Trumpism in all of its ilk and forms. But it also does, Joe, to your point, clarify the moment for us, as our great historian friend John Meacham often does in sort of relating history to the present day. These present moments are clarifying for us in a real way. We know now where the lines of demarcation are between a civil, proper American society that's looking forward and one that wants to retrench and sit in fear and disengage, not only from the world, but from communities within our own space, within our American family. I dare say that Lindsey Graham, in walking across the street to the House, would not say what he said to the face of those 4 women, because he doesn't have what it takes to do that in the main. In real life, he would never say it to their face. And that tells you everything you need to know about the cowardice of this moment and the cheap political thrills they get